You're not going to ask me the same questions, are you? Honestly.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I think we're ready to go.
You want this one?
No. I'll miss you lot. I'll miss the questions.
After this, Steve.
How are you? You good?
All good, thank you. First of all, just team news ahead of tomorrow. How's Scotland?
All right, yeah, good. I think everyone's okay at the moment. Just Johnny obviously came off, didn't he, with a slight hamstring strain. So I think that's been assessed. So he'd be the only doubt really for the journey. Yeah, everyone else I think's okay at the moment. So all good.
We've seen on the kind of Wolves social accounts that Lopetegui's arrived today.
Yeah.
What conversations have you had, if any?
Yeah,
will it have any influence on the squad selection for tomorrow?
Yeah, I spoke to him about 10:30 this morning. We were just doing our usual planning. We just prior to our analysis meeting that we have around 10:30. So just prior to that. So yeah, we just shared a brief conversation, which was filmed, I think. So you probably know I've said it. I can't remember what I said now, but yeah, there's further conversations going to take place later on this afternoon. So I'm not sure what that'll be, but I should imagine it'd be about the squad and things that have happened over the last 5 weeks.
And looking at the World Cup, changing subject totally, how did the players who did make the World Cup, especially for Portugal, take the news, but also the ones who perhaps didn't, like Semedo and Moutinho, etc.?
Yeah, I only spoke briefly today. Obviously congratulated the ones that had been called up, and I spoke to Ruben briefly about ones that hadn't, how they felt about it. I think some expected it maybe, and others were a little bit disappointed. So yeah, it's just mixed views really about it. But ultimately, at the end, they've got to get on with their careers and do better and get called up. So hopefully, it drives them to do better in the future.
Do you think that can give them a bit almost more motivation tomorrow ahead of the game?
I think so. Yeah, you'd expect that. That every club in the Premier League has got a lot of internationals who will be involved in the World Cup. So we expect the approach, the attitude to be as normal. I'm sure they'll enjoy the game against Arsenal as well. I think everyone's looking forward to it.
And last few questions about the World Cup. What did you make of Gareth Southgate's selection? Maybe James Madison was a bit of a surprise.
He's been playing well, so I guess I'm not sure how he's going to play in terms of the formation. So Madison might be really important to his formation in the way he plays, and so I think he'll have his way. As I say, I don't know how he's going to play. So the players he'll have picked is around that formation, but also being adaptable to a different one if he needs to keep changing it. So yeah, there's always a few surprises. I guess none of us will agree with the squads. We've all got a different opinion of who shouldn't go, who should go. I guess I'm no different.
And just finally, any picks for who you think will win the World Cup?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I think obviously with the humidity, the weather, it's going to be quite hot. So I would imagine somewhere South American type teams, but yeah, I want England to do well, of course, and not Wales. But yeah, I want England to do well. But yeah, I think a South American club would because of the weather, the humidity, they'll be used to it, the training it, the playing it, and I think that's being able to adapt to that very quickly in the tournament's important, obviously, because the games come very quickly in that first week. So, but yeah, so I've no actual favourite, but somebody from that region.
Hi, Steve.
How are you?
Good, thanks. Just picking up on a couple of things regarding team news. Nunez, he's okay?
Yeah, Nunez is in the squad. Yeah, he's fine.
Good stuff. And you touched on the players who got call-ups, particularly to the Portugal squad. Obviously, that is fantastic. The three guys there, particularly I suppose with Jose Sarr, who's had to really wait patiently, hasn't he?
Yeah, no, I was pleased that he was involved at one of the three that they're taking. So, Jose had a fantastic season last season, and he's made some terrific saves this season. So yeah, he's more than good enough to have been called. So we're delighted as a club that he's representing the club in the World Cup.
On the flip side, João Moutinho's second most capped player in Portugal's history, an icon of Portuguese football. How's he taking it? Because I know obviously he's got, I guess, half an eye on his next chapter. Wants to become a manager, but
yeah,
he would have been desperate to have a swan-song there, wouldn't he?
Possibly. I haven't spoken to João regarding that. He was very, very focused on the stuff we were doing for Arsenal tomorrow. So I think that he's very professional and he knows that that's important to him. I'm sure he'll reflect on not being selected. But no, I haven't had that conversation. So he will be disappointed, of course. I think, with Ronaldo going at that age, again, the coach has to think of the balance of the squad. Is there too many at that age, or is it a younger squad? Is it a transition that they're in at the moment of Portugal? So that balance is important for any coach. So maybe that was part of the decision.
Do you know yet? Have you had any word of whether Raul Jimenez will be going with Mexico? Are you still expecting to see him this weekend? You mentioned that in the week.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. Obviously, we weren't sure of what they were going to do, and I spoke about that in the press conference after the game, because that's the first time that we'd heard of that happening. So I don't know. Is the answer? I can't really answer that.
Are you personally? have you enjoyed the last few weeks? Are you happy to hand the reins over, or how will you reflect on it when the full-time whistle goes? Yeah, listen. I think it's. I guess when when the end is, you can plan for that sort of 5-week period. Initially, it was game by game. I wasn't sure. Then it was the new year, and then it was after Arsenal. So it's changed sort of 2 or 3 times, which you have to adapt to and understand. That's football, and we got the person that we wanted to get into the football club, which is great news as well. So, but I'll look back on it as really good experience, something that I've never dreamed would happen, if I'm honest, as a kid. And I'd like to think that some of the legacies have been left in terms of young players getting opportunities, some opportunities for fans to see talent that we've got within the academy that are ready, in my opinion. And I guess internally, the changes that we've tried to make, the methods we've used in the training to get more intensity for the players to work harder and play with that intensity in the games. I think you can see that in the performances. You can see that in the way that they've changed that mindset. Those are the things that we wanted to try and change in a short period of time. And I guess we have. Some people might not have thought that, but the only tinge of disappointment is not being able to get enough points that I would have liked in maybe the Brighton game. I thought we should have got something from that, and the Palace game, where we played well in both games and didn't come out with nothing. You mentioned the young players you've been able to introduce. Dexter Lembagisa, the latest one in the week. Obviously Hodge, Bueno, Conor Ronan making his Premier League debut. Is that what you'll take particular joy from? You must have seen the reaction from not just the players but their families as well. Yeah, the lads themselves are buzzing. They had their families there watching. So, I just think as a young player, somebody sooner or later has to give you that opportunity. And I got my opportunity from somebody, and I was talking to Ruben, who got his opportunity off Julian. So at 17 years of age, so somebody along the line has to give them the chance, and then you learn about whether they're good enough or not. So we just felt, even though we weren't getting the results, that it wasn't a risk. And with Hugo playing at Palace, he was outstanding, and he's kicked on since. He's been outstanding since. I think it gives opportunities to fans to see the players that are playing under 21s, and you don't really see a lot of. So, but they've not looked out of place. They've deserved that opportunity, and I was delighted to give them their chances. And just finally from me, Moutinho under the lights, league leaders in town. How confident are you can send the Wolves fans off to the World Cup, I guess, with a big smile on their face? Well, that's, like I say, our approach is never different. It's always to try and set up to win. Obviously, we know the qualities they've got. They're an outstanding team this season. Nobody's really been able to stop them. So, being the final game, we'll give everything that we've got. We'll work extremely hard, which we have been doing the last few games, and see where that takes us. As I say, we've got a plan, and every team has those little things that you think you can exploit, and that's what we're looking to try and do. Thanks ever so much. Thank you. Mike?
Hello, Steve. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Mike.
I'm sure there'll be a time for this over the next few weeks, but eventually, will you be looking to talk to the new manager to establish those same links that the academy have had with the first team that have been quite strong now for quite a while?
Yeah, I think that's something that has been discussed already, and how that might look, bringing it closer together, being that sort of that person that can keep on top of things, keep on top of players, making sure they're getting opportunities, and it's almost a separate business, isn't it? You know, it's a getting your assets to in the right place and getting them opportunities, and it's not easy because ultimately it's about winning, and you know you have to be trusted as a young player. But yeah, I think you know I've already had those conversations. I'm going to go away for a week after Arsenal and just reflect on, I guess, the last 5 weeks, and then decide what's going to happen after that.
Because we've seen from the players that have over the last few weeks, but also over the last few seasons, that there have been a lot of academy products that when they get to the first team, they're ready. They're obviously ready to fit into the role on the field, but they must be ready in everything in professionalism that they do off the field as well, otherwise they wouldn't get that far. Yeah, no, spot on really. I think you have to take that in consideration. You know, does he do things right? Does he do it professionally? I think when they get the opportunity to train down there and move down there permanently to train with the first team, that's when they pick up their habits of professionalism and preparation and the things that perhaps they don't quite get when they're in the academy building. And as soon as they come down here, it's different. And then they improve with playing and training with top players. You know, you will improve. You've got to. If they don't, then they sink and they move on and they find their level. So, but no, as I say, there's a cluster of players at the moment that have been given an opportunity and have done really well. You just have to be careful, I guess, not putting too many in at the same time, because obviously it weakens the team. But you need players. You know, in terms of Hodgie playing with Ruben was the right thing to do, and then replacing him with João with that experience next to him to help him and sort of mentor him, if you like, in the future. All those things are really important as part of their development.